What is up, everybody? I'm Jill, and I'm bringing you guys What If I Had Seraphim's Powers? This is practically the semi-final part of this What If. I'm doing the final part maybe tomorrow or next day after that, so yeah. I hope you guys are patient enough for this. Also, I've seen that you guys have not actually liked that much of these videos. A previous one, the first one actually got a lot of likes than the other one. So I'm actually wondering why. I actually know some of the reasons. You guys want to make me a little bit more of the drama content that I've done, maybe some more mixture of it, which I'm gonna do in the future closely. I also announced that I'm also gonna be finishing with if the Naruto team wasn't drivable. I actually had new ideas that I actually have not thought that much better, but thanks to the inspiration of Goku G23, one of the YouTubers that I've watched ever since I was a little kid, you could say around 13, 13ish, you could say that I've actually learned a lot. So yeah, I actually got some ideas from him that I actually use in my what if. If you guys are wondering, no, my what if is not similar to his. It's not like Goku was teleported to Naruto verse. It was actually the opposite, with the Naruto team being teleported to the Dragon Ball verse instead. So you guys just have to know that I'm not copying any of his what ifs, my what ifs, or just similar to his, but just have different concepts and how powerful and strong one are. Also, I do appreciate one of the comments that my what if my what if thumbnail is kind of similar to manga adventure, which yeah it is, but don't worry, the story is a little bit different alongside its own writing and how powerful the fighters are. So yeah. So without any verification, let's get into the video with a quick recap. Of course, we're going to recap of me practically meeting Vera and actually realizing that she was there. Of course, I would practically be surprised to actually know that she has changed so much. She almost doesn't even exactly look like human, yet she does possess the humanoid feature that I've seen in her. She looks more of like a reptile, humanoid person than anything like that. But I will still actually care for her since she's still my friend, since I know her from my childhood. Of course, she has not changed as much, but she has become slightly cold to other people except myself. Of course, I'm kind of worried about that, but I'm not that much worried. Of course, I do introduce her to everyone else, including Papyrus and everyone else in the underground. With, of course, most of them being really surprised at how tall she is. Remember, I'm 10 feet tall and she's 8 feet tall. She's only 2 feet lower than me, so that's why everyone's actually surprised at how tall she is. But they've seen how tall I am, so it's not that big of a surprise. But they're still surprised nonetheless. Even Mito actually wants to see how she look in different dresses, which she actually does not actually reject. She actually wants to try some dresses since she kind of likes the black and red color, like me as well. Of course, I particularly now like the rainbow variations since I do look really cool in them thanks to my new rainbow jacket. So yeah. Of course, she'll try multiple dresses with me, blushing from time to time by just looking at her. And eventually, my thumb decided to tease me a little bit by giving her a bikini, which I'll instantly blush and look away as I would fly instantly away, trying to not get perverted around it or not try to get too embarrassed. Which both of them would just give out my reaction, with me just covering my face in a snowden, which I would just practically be embarrassed. Of course, Paz will ask me if something's wrong with me, telling me it's nothing, I just want to bury my hands inside. With, of course, the buster that's above my head being Frisk will just giggle instantly tell me that I get embarrassed really easily. But I told her that then she shouldn't talk since she was embarrassed even more when I talked to her about her and Sans being best friends. With of course Frisk blushing and Sans just chuckling, seemingly kind of happy that I actually was able to tease Frisk back for her trying to tease me. With me telling Sans that he's also not all the hook as well. With Sans apologizing, with me deciding to accept his apology. Of course, the other six souls is kind of confused on what am I even talking about, since they are not that knowledgeable about the relationship since they died at a really young age. So I'll just explain to them as best I can so that I do not ruin their innocence. Partly because males do not supposed to actually see women naked if they're not married because it's inappropriate. And the female souls does agree and the male souls does understand as well. So yeah. Of course, I'll then return and she's actually put her own variation of fashion, which I'll kind of blush seeing her like this, which is a little bit exposed, but I just decided not to tell anything. But she's able to cover it with her apologizing to me, with me saying it's fine, and she and me go to Grillie's. With, of course, Grillie's making her some spaghetti for both of us, as I would just enjoy it. Since Grillie's spaghetti is actually a lot better than Alpha Papyrus. Even though I've tried to teach Paps how to practically cook a lot better, his spaghettis are not as good as Grillie's because of him being a much more better expert on Papyrus. So I'm mostly going to go into him multiple times when it comes to spaghetti or hot dogs. But I'm able to actually make hot dogs thanks to Sound's information about them and me fusing with him, which will most likely make me able to practically make the best hot dogs in the underground, literally making them even better than Sound's original hot dogs by a far much better extent. If you guys are wondering, yes, I'm actually a royal scientist in the underground, alongside a royal guard as well. I practically decided to do this job because it actually pays me a lot, alongside actually I can work on some things, including the AU code, which will most likely I've been focusing on for a really long time. Of course, Vera will still be impressed by me possessing the AU code, practically the code from the entire universe that we are in. With me, of course, explaining her that I was able to gain it after I became seraphim, which is kind of a little bit big thing since I'm kind of a god. Well, she's actually kind of you could say a demon, but not really. But she is still pretty powerful in her own right. Her power is not that matchable to mine, but she's pretty strong. Even if I train incredibly hard, I did not absorb all 6 souls, or 7, including Sans as well. I most likely would not able to actually match her in this point. Due to me possessing the 7 souls and Sans soul within me, I'm actually stronger than her just by a really far extent. If I did not possess all the souls, I would most likely be slightly weaker than her, but still pretty strong in my own right. Of course, I'll still continue to train myself, still continue to increase my power. Of course, Vero will also train with me as we will constantly spar. Sometimes we will tear off each other's clothing, but it will not be that big of a problem for me since I'm a part skeleton. So it's not that big of a problem, but it's kind of a big problem for her since I kind of get embarrassed really easily and I get hit by her attacks. Of course, I do not feel any of the damage since I'm practically invulnerable to any attacks that they're even higher than my defense. So yeah, of course, one time I'll actually be in the shower as I will take a shower, practically relaxing as I will just use my ways to be inside of me, as all souls will just talk to me while I was showering. Of course, Vera will not realize that I was in a shower. She would decide to go there, with me and her just looking at one another, blushing intensely as and she apologizes with me to her is fine. She asks me if she can join me, with me embarrassedly saying that she can, and I won't look. With her just smiling as she goes out of the shower with me. We then show one with each other, and I'm just trying my best not to look at her since I don't want to be perverted or look like a pervert to her. It's been a really long time, and I don't want to seem, you could say, in a bad expression on my friend. But of course, she kind of does not actually mind it since she partly appreciates my presence, almost like being close to her. She then hugs me with me blushing and asking her what she's doing, with her telling whispering that she likes me. With me able to hear it, but I ask her what did she say, with her telling that she likes me as I blush and I say you too as well. With her just blushing and actually being surprised by me. I told her that I didn't like her a lot, but I now want to reveal my feelings to her since I was kind of worried because I don't want to ruin our friendship. Of course, she would just smile and hug me, tell me that I'm a real dummy, with me just blushing and saying, yeah, I am. She would then kiss me as I'll kiss her back, and eventually it was just a peaceful time. Eventually, we'll go out the shower and eventually dress up as we would just fall asleep. Simply enjoying our night. I'll be inside my mindscape as I'll just train with sounds, trying to practically make my own willpower even stronger. Due to me training with the 7 souls, I most likely would have grown stronger in will, not only by just by physical and but also mental strength, because the stronger I get in my mind, the stronger I actually become mentally. So I'm practically as strong as Sans at this point, but now I'm actually able to surpass him. Now, power scaling, Sans is incredibly strong and powerful. I'm also going to do a power scaling about myself in the Seraphim form, which I'll be doing at the end of this what if. After I finish practically this what if, I'm going to power scale him alongside most of my other cells. So I hope you guys are ready for this power scaling because it will be crazy. Really crazy. So yeah. But listen to the video and not waste any time. Of course, I will still continue to train with Sans, growing immensely stronger and eventually surpassing him in power. Of course, I will train with Frizz as I will just test her ability as Reset. Both her and Char would be able to practically constantly reset inside my head. Of course, it will not affect the world, just my mindscape. So they can actually bring themselves back to life as much as they want, with me just constantly evolving throughout the battle. With me actually growing much more stamina as I continue to practically use all my power constantly against them. With me just not growing tired as Sans does, as my stamina will just increase constantly by me training with them and constantly they will die and just reset and go back to life. Of course, the other souls will just help me master all their abilities inside my mindscape so I can practically use them while not actually using the seraphim form that I have possessed in my base state, which I can use in my mental state as well. So yeah. With me possessing all the souls' attributes and powers, I almost like would have grown strong enough to actually handle even someone like Error Sans in my mental state with no difficulty. I mean, I can match my power, I cannot overpower him, but I'm still pretty strong to hold my own ground against him. Eventually, in the morning, I would just wake up as I was stretched and I just look at Vera and she's still sleeping. I would just smile, seemingly as I was happy to have her beside me. It's been a really long time since we have been apart. I really missed her a lot. I then kiss her head as I tell her good morning, with her just smiling and tell me good morning as well. As the new day begins. But guys, is in for this part. I'll see you guys in the next part. Sayonara.